Welcome back to LTYF. This episode is about Rich Gilbertson, who is Daniel Gilbertson's father. Daniel's been on a bunch of times. Daniel's mom's sister's husband, Bill, is also in this one a little bit. We felt like we needed an episode of Rich just telling stories of his life. He's had some pretty crazy experiences, and he's a pretty interesting guy. He does a lot of stuff. Hope you enjoy it. Again, thanks for listening to your friends.
We were making a bucket list a long time ago, and one of the things that got thrown out was getting a BJ from a girl that you pay with a bag of cans. And if you actually downgrade it to where it's like just one can, that's the you win for sure. But the least amount, but for right now, just the bucket list is just a bag of cans, because like when you're down fishing on the side of the riverbank, and the people are always like, hey, can I have your cans? Or it's like,
That'd have to be one rough hook.
So we're just talking about just cans. Just
empty cans for the deposit.
Yeah, you got to drink them first.
Yeah, no full ones.
The thing is there's definitely someone out there that would take a bag of cans.
That's a whole different
story.
Oh, yeah.
Like that person exists.
Oh, I live with these people all day long on my route. No,
I actually had two opportunities. I didn't pull the trigger.
Yeah, I had a girl offer me a BJ if I would buy her a hamburger one time at McDonald's down on my route. I mean, a bag of cans is in the realm of happening, but not on my. This was your bucket list. This wasn't mine.
Yeah, it sounds like you know a lot about it.
Well, we talked about it a lot.
You're
and
into
when
it.
you drive by somebody that's looks like a bag of cans sort of girl, you have to say,
bag of cans.
Bag of cans.
Stay away from the cans! There's cans in there too!
We can take this off your bucket list. But...
I mean, lot lizards, right?
Right.
If you go to a truck stop,
go to the truck stop,
I bet they'd take a bag.
Yeah, my buddy Jesse, we started our first band together. They play all the truck stops and everything. One of his songs is called Lot Lizard. It's on iTunes. You could download Lot Lizard from him.
Yeah, I got these lot lizards right here that I picked up at the truck stop. For some reason, they won't leave my fucking backyard.
All right, we got Rich Gilbertson, who is in fact the fucking father of Daniel Gilbertson, who has been on here
It's totally
a lot.
not proven.
What's funny is that there's no fucking way that you're not their dad.
Yeah.
You see my
Super Norwegian.
My brother and I look like identical.
Yeah.
Although
really?
He's half the size.
I've never seen your brother.
Yeah, my brother Kevin. We look. I mean, my dad. Same thing. We all have a super strong bloodline. We all look the same. You can't. That was the weird thing of like. I'll tell you a weird story because.
Here we go.
Like, both my parents were married 7 times. Weird
What?
shit. Each. No, but like, my mom one time was telling me about when she caught my dad cheating with this other lady. And she went over there, and a kid answered the door.
Like mid-stroke?
She went over to challenge this lady, or like to confront him, and a kid answered the door and looked exactly like me.
Oh, shit.
And she says, and you guys all have this bloodline.
What
and she's
the
like,
fuck?
and this kid looked exactly. And so she's like, she always told me, I think you got a brother out there somewhere, right? I mean, just probably like 4 years ago, we're down at Chinook Winds. And I'm just standing there, no mask or anything. I'm just standing there like I am right now in the casino. And this guy walks up to me, sticks his hand out, and is like, Tom, God damn, glad to see you, man. I'm glad you made it down here. And I was like, not Tom. And he's like, holy shit, you look exactly like one of my good friends, Tom. And it was like, he said good friend, and he's standing right in front of me. So this guy and I must look exactly like
Either that or they're not that good of friends.
Yeah, or he's just fucking with me.
Yeah.
I told that to my mom, and then she started telling me about it. This is a story I had heard before, but I put those two things together because,
Yeah.
Well, I got to see a picture of Tom.
We need to find
I
Tom.
know.
Can we post a picture of Tom?
Should post a picture of me and say, searching for my brother.
Yeah,
Tom.
searching for Tom.
Searching for my identical brother, Tom.
That's crazy. What else?
What?
What else happened with Tom?
What else?
What else do you need to say?
Man.
I feel like I can see you just like searching in an ocean of stuff to bring up.
It could just go on anything of like, I mean, if you just went with just obsessions that I've taken on.
I like that.
Things that I've obsessed about because I got to do something, right? The saltwater fish tanks.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Remember that? Yeah, and it was just like...
That was just the period where you were...
A guy one time invited me over to his house for a beer, and he had a
Looks just
saltwater
like
fish tank. Oh, I was like, this is really cool. He's like, I could set you up into one of these. We could find a tank on Craigslist or whatever, or not Craigslist, it was nickel ads back then, you know. And I was like, all right, so we did this, and then I slowly started building these fish tanks to where it got to the point where that reef tank that I had, I went and I found we started the Greater Portland Aquarium Society, and I was doing cartoons for their magazine thing.
Wait,
you know,
what?
Because I cartoon, right? And
I didn't know that.
Oh, dude, I have stacks of them around here.
You did cartoons.
I did cartoons. Just now we're getting off track, but I
What
did.
the fuck?
Well, this is what we
Seriously.
really wanted to get into. Was the
I didn't know
cartoons.
about that.
Oh yeah,
you-
actually, we used to carry these we had aprons that we wore that had like 3 pouches. When I was a checker at Fran's Bakery, it had these cards, and I would pull them out, and they're white on the other side, and I would, with a Sharpie, and I would draw cartoons, and I'd stick them up, and I have stacks of these cards. That I drew these, and after I'd let them stay up there for a couple days, I'd take them down, and everybody just left them alone, you know. And anybody who did anything was a victim. I mean, if something was going on, there was a guy like
You'd cartoon about people?
there was like, I'll give you an example. This guy was telling me he had a blind date that night, and he was getting the idea that she was kind of a big girl, and he had a nice boat with a big, you know, like a jet boat, right? And so I drew this cartoon of this boat with a big ass blower on the motor and stuff and everything, and the cord going out, and this chick that looks like she's an inflatable raft, and the guy saying, "You think it'll pull her?"
That's a huge bitch.
And anyways, I'd put these up all the time. It was crazy because I went back to work at Fran's later on. I went back there, and the contract they have to sign now has a line that says you're not allowed to post any cartoons. It's in the contract.
Seriously?
It's like, I'm in the Baker
That's-
Union contract.
That's
They
an
hated my
achievement, I feel
cartoons
like.
so much.
When somebody has to make rules because of you,
Yeah,
I feel like that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Wow, man.
Have to change policies so you stop terrorizing the
I'm
other
working
employees.
we're making bread, right? And so Breadman was my character that I used a lot, Breadman. And his superpower was he could taste THC in your urine.
Oh yeah, well I can see why they made the policy.
With great power comes great responsibility. This is my gift.
That was his superpower.
Don't narc me out, Breadman.
He's just like, hold on.
Stop
Piss in my mouth for a second.
You've been smoking weed. I can taste
It's like, yeah.
I'm going to management. Stop sucking my dick, man.
What did he stop crimes?
No, he just...
So he's just like a regular...
I only probably have about like 4 or 5 cartoons.
You can taste
Breadman.
THC in your urine.
That's right. I'm a fountain of useless information. Drink from my fountain.
I am thirsty. So
Where do we go from here?
My brother Tom.
Cartooning.
cartooning.
Looking for my brother.
Still looking
It's like, I think I'm gonna call Tom up.
We're gonna have this guy over here pretty soon.
So did you know about all of your brothers except the one?
Well, I'm sure there's more, but that's one that I've heard that there might be one out there that looks exactly like me. So
That's wild.
That's one that. But anyway, what a slut his dad was. He doesn't know what happened to his dad. He's probably been told his dad was like, oh, he was killed in Vietnam. You know?
Wait, is his dad your dad?
Yeah, we would
Okay.
have the same dad. Yeah.
Your dad was a slut?
He was a slut, man.
You don't hear
He
dads referred to as sluts very
Man,
often.
he drove this Datsun B210.
This guy earned it. So.
Dude, you want to take on how much my dad was a slut stories? He
yeah.
drove this Datsun B210 station wagon. Right?
He always kept a bunch of
And he
bags of
just
cans
threw
in the back of it.
He threw the cans over into the back. And then he would
once he
park,
had a
and
big
so
enough.
they were worth 2 cents a piece. and we were like, hey, we're going to take the cans out of your car, because we were trying to raise beer money. You know, it's like, let's go clean the cans out. There'd be used rubbers back there and stuff in the back of his car and shit. He was a slut. He got beat up for being a slut with this guy's wife, and the guy's name was Butch. This is Boardman, right? Guy's name was Butch.
You don't sleep with a guy's wife.
He was an overall wearing giant farmer guy named Butch that had like 1,000 acres a week. He had 2 kids. He had 3 kids, and he had 2 boys that were like my age that went to high school with me. So I knew them. And it's like they were cool. You know, one was 1 year older than me, and the other one was 2 years older than me. And we went to high school together, and I was a freshman.
And they're always like, Rich, your fucking dad is a slut.
Is fucking my mom.
Oh.
And Butch finds out and starts beating the shit out of my dad all the time at the bar, because they just hung out in the car all the time.
Your dad's just like, I gotta go to that bar.
Beat this shit.
There's other bars in town. Stop going to the same bar Butch is in.
No,
This is the sluttiest bar in town. I gotta go here.
It's like, but he's there with his wife, and so he'd come and looking for his wife and then beat the shit out of my dad, you know. I heard the stories, him being thrown over the pool table. Just like, goes on. And he come home all beat to shit all the time because he's fucking this guy's wife. Well, we had 40-acre farm of cows and shit, right? We're just renting it out to pasture.
It ain't no 1,000 acres of wheat, that's for sure.
And the other guy's got 1,000 acres. Well, I mean, this gets fucking weird, though, because Butch is driving home from the bar and hit a cow and died. Somebody's cow got out and was standing in the road.
He killed Butch?
Butch died? Butch died. My dad moved out the fucking next day out of our farmhouse into her big-ass house, started driving around his fucking Cadillac and shit, you know, and just stepped right in. And it was like...
He got really into Hinduism because they worship cows.
The cow saved me. So then he ended up marrying her, and she was wife number 4, 5. We lost the farm because he wasn't paying on it anymore.
Yeah.
And then my stepmom got kicked out. She moved into Boardman town, so she went on fine without him and raised my little brother and sister that they had together. But then at the time, we lost the farm, and I was like, okay, what the fuck do? I hate all you people.
How old were you at the time?
I was a freshman, and I was like, what the fuck do I do? And he's like, well, you can come over here and live with us. And it's like, I'm going to live with the kids that I go to school with.
Yeah.
That know that you were fucking their mom and then just jumped into the house after their dad died. And it's like, okay, this is not going to be good, right? And so then Phyllis, my stepmom, was like, hey, come live with me. And I was like, this is so fucking weird. It's like, we're not actually even blood. I mean, I mean, how this works or whatever, you guys are going. And so I ended up couch surfing for 6 months at this girlfriend's house. And they were like strictly Catholic. I mean, they were nice people. Okay, we were talking about my obsessions. Okay,
there we go.
I mean, if you want to go back to, and I was writing cartoons in the Greater Portland Aquarium Society when we started it, and we had a little magazine thing. So I bought this 55-gallon tank, and I already had the one tank that had the moray eel and the big fucking... do you remember that big lionfish that I had named Hoover? And he would we put goldfish in there, he'd suck them up. And I bought him, and he was only like an inch long. And when he died, he was like a largemouth bass. He was like, I mean, he lived a good life he probably would have been better if we would have left him in the ocean. But but he got to see more shit.
He would have got
TV. I mean,
he got to know what TV was.
Right, he got to see all kinds of... He knows more than the other fish when he died, for sure. But I was like, I'm going to build a reef tank. So I went out and I found this dresser. I took this thing and sanded the shit out of it, and it was rosewood, and then I stained it, and it was this glowing rosewood cabinet. It was really nice. And when you set a 55-gallon tank on it, there was room in the back. So then I drilled holes in the back of it and had protein skimmers and stuff that were running in there. I had
Wait, what the hell is that?
And then I wired it all for the lights, and I did all the research.
Yeah. Protein skimmers?
Yeah, it's like a big tube that's shoots the water and it spins and then stuff frosts up. I don't even know.
why
know,
that's
I've been
funny,
saying
but
Skimming protein off the wrestling team.
It's like a $200 thing that you buy for your fish tank to clean your water. So I built all this, like researched it, designed. I was just my obsession at the time, and I researched all this shit.
That's fucking
and then I was
cool,
like,
though.
all the lighting, and it's like, okay, well, if I'm going to do a saltwater tank, I want to put corals in here. So how do corals stay alive? And I had to learn the spectrum of lights. And I was poor too, so I was going and buying this shit like one rock at a time.
Right, yeah.
And I
Yeah.
built the fucking reef tank one rock. It took me forever, right? I came home one day from work, and this thing was fully built, fully functional, running for years. His son was like 4 years old, and they left him alone, and that tank was downstairs down here, and they left him alone down here, and they were up watching something. And I came home, and he had poured a leather conditioner to soften baseball mitts and a bottle of shampoo into my sump tank, and he killed everything in the tank.
Yeah.
And I was just so fucking devastated that I drug it out here, and it sat right there for like 10 years. Never moved.
Is that the day that your obsession with tanks ended?
Yeah. Never did another fish or anything. That was fucking it right there. Tammy bought me a lottery ticket, a scratch-off ticket, and put it in my stocking when we were like 20.
Damn.
20. No, it was older than that because the boys were probably like, you guys were probably like 3 and 5. And I won $110 on this scratch-off, and she's like, what are you going to do with it? I was like, I'm going to go down to that dojo down there and talk to that guy. I've been meaning to take the martial arts. And then I just went off on it to where I was going 4 times a week, 3 hours a night. For 7 years I did that. I mean, I was teaching his classes and shit.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was all the way up through this. I'm fighting in tournaments all over the place. And,
Fuck.
And when I jumped into the martial arts, I was like in my prime. I was freaking ripped. Oh, yeah! In great shape. I mean, there was a time when I used to be able to put both of my feet behind my head in full football gear.
And then what?
Yeah, and then what would you do? Skim a little protein.
I mean, rent my pornos. You'll see.
Yeah.
That's what you're editing, right?
Yeah. We've been shooting porn. No, but I was in great shape, like, and so I could like just freaking so fast kick you in the side of the head.
Yeah.
And I got DQ'd from a tournament one time out in Beaverton. We were in a gymnasium. I was out there fighting this guy. God, I was probably like a green belt at the time or something, man. But I did a crescent kick where I was like standing there, and I picked my back leg up, and I went up like he thought it was going to be a front kick, and then I came around the top, and his hands just followed me all the way around, right? So I came up across him, around in front of his face, and then before I put it down, I came back up and hit him right in the side of the head, and just opened his whole eyebrow up. And he's limited contact to the face tournament, and I just fucking opened this dude up. And
You got disqualified for that?
yeah, I got kicked out for that. I got DQ'd from a few tournaments. I went to this one tournament, and it was up in Washington somewhere, and my sensei held me back, and I'd been a brown belt for like a year and a half, and it's like, when am I taking my black belt test? Obviously, I'm better than all these fuckers, right?
He kept just like denying it?
No, but he would take me to the tournaments and have me fight in the black belt division as his brown belt, which made him like, my brown belt kicked your black belt ass. It was like his thing, right?
Yeah.
And he was just being a dick about it. And he was he was the Cobra Kai dude for sure, over the top.
That's
He
awesome.
had lawsuits against him. This guy was over the top crazy. He was 16.
I bet he did cocaine.
I'm sure he did. At the time, he was 16-1 as a pro boxer, and I would stay after class and be his sparring partner, and he would fucking knock me out every single. I had black eyes nonstop. He broke my ribs multiple times. He broke my nose probably 3 times. Then I just showed up and taught his classes and shit. And I mean, this got to be like a really fucked up relationship. I mean, you know how it ended is, I mean, I had been a brown belt for like 2 years, and
Fuck that.
everybody was like, I mean, there's people that were like below me that had went and taken their, and he was always just like, yeah, I'm gonna say, you're fine, man. And they offered me my own school. You know, one time they offered me the school that was down by Cleveland High School. It was American States Dojo. How this all ended was after all that time, he the very first UFC fight with Hoist Gracie, it was like a we have an idea, but we're going to figure this out. And so they sent like the boxer out wearing boxing gloves.
Right, yeah.
And then they
yeah.
say, and they had all the different things, and it's going to be the ultimate fighting thing, and it's like, who's going to win, right? And Hoist Gracie just, like, really just the boxing guy can't do anything. He just jumps on him and chokes him out with jiu-jitsu.
Not even a competition.
And then I watched all these jiu-jitsu guys just kick ass, and and I'm like a hard-style karate fighter, It's like I'm great from, 1 to 5 feet.
Yeah.
Great. You get a hold of me, and I got different problems. I'm not a wrestler. I never wrestled or anything. And one time I wrestled. Remind me of that. But
you wrestled one time.
One time. Remind me of that. But seriously, I wrestled one match.
Oh, you only did one match. Okay.
In school, I wrestled one match. I never wrestled, but I joined the wrestling team, and I wrestled one match. Anyway, I had a buddy that had like one of those things that you could get all of the channels, and so we went over to his house and we watched the UFC fight for the first time. The very first UFC fight on his stolen cable box thing he had, right?
Yeah.
Back in the day, some unscrambler thing you could put on there. The next day, my sensei calls me up and says, hey, I'm doing this photo shoot with, I got a photographer coming in and everything. Could you wash up your gi and come in and pose for some pictures?
This is how you got into directing porn, isn't it?
Right. Yeah, it's like kiddie porn. No, he had me like pose with some of his, kid students and stuff, but they were taking the photographers doing these pictures and shit. And me and some of these other guys are sitting around, and he had called some old guys, some guys that I had in black belts that had come in, and I've sparred with them, and done a class with them here or there. But their day was long ago when they just come in and show up every now and then. Some of them was like, I didn't even know their name. But there's this one dude that shows up, and he's like really good. I've sparred with this guy, and he was really fucking good. And he had been a black belt for like 5-6 years. So then we're sitting there, and pictures are going on, and I was like, man, what about that UFC fight, man? That was pretty interesting shit. I said, that jiu-jitsu shit looks like something that mixed really good with what we're doing. I mean, this was like almost word for word that I'm telling this guy. Back in, 90 or whatever. I said, when I get my black belt, I might have to start taking some of that too and mix it together, right? And it was like, yeah, whatever. Didn't really say anything. So then I come into the dojo the next day to work out, got my bag over my shoulder. I come walking in, and I'm supposed to be like teaching his class for him that day or whatever. And I come walking in, and he's sitting there in his office. He looks at me and goes, what the fuck are you doing here? And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, what the fuck are you doing here? I hear you're going to fucking go quit and join jiu-jitsu. Get the fuck out of here. I never want to see you in here ever again.
Jesus.
Get the fuck out of here. It's like, okay, I just spent 7 years with you, like hours a day.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'd be the only one to show up for a class, and we just have
Rich, I'm not going to lie. This guy treated you like shit.
Oh, yeah. Seriously. And then the martial arts was the same way. I was just like, okay, fuck you.
That's why you can't.
I just walked away, and my sons that year bought me a black belt, really nice one. So I have a black belt.
Yeah.
I didn't pay them for it. I was just basically paying to go take a class. It'd be like, okay, you got to pay $250 to go to the black belt testing class or whatever.
Oh, yeah, you got to pay that much to take the test.
To take the test, right? And so I hadn't paid for that. So actually, I got out of paying that, and I have my black belt, which my
should have gone and done some jujitsu.
I totally. Well, it was like like 2 years ago. I went down to this fucking place that's down here by Main City Park.
Yeah.
And after I'd been shot and my hand didn't work and everything.
Oh, that's when you did it?
Right. It was just like this was like 2 years ago.
He got
and I
shot.
did
We haven't
I
talked
did
about that.
We did it.
Jesus
I did a
Christ.
year there. I'd signed a 1-year contract, and now they went out of business, and the guy's gone. But it was Kempo shit, and it was so fucking weird. It was like everything was about. It wasn't like, okay, learn your actual basics of fighting and then adapt to whatever you're fighting. It was like, if they touch you on the right shoulder, do the sweeping eagle, know, and you must learn the sweeping eagle, and wherever and then they touch you on the right or the left shoulder, and fang of the lion. And it's like you had to memorize all this stupid shit and these moves to counter anything or any way.
And you were like, what if I just break your fucking nose?
Yeah.
And they were like, well, I don't have anything
that's
for that.
That's the crying sensei.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I went in there, though, and I'm like, okay, I could kick this instructor's ass. But then I'm like, okay, I'm really fat and out of shape, and one of my arms doesn't work because I got fucking shot. No shit. And it's like, I need to work out. I'm gonna do this, and I put up with it.
It's sort of true though that like all the different martial arts hate on each other.
No, yeah, there was a time when I was working at Fran's Bakery, and there was a dude that worked in the engineering department who was into Taekwondo. And he was kind of in the same spot where he was like high up there and teaching classes for his, I don't think it's called a sensei.
Priest.
It's like Sifu and Kung Fu.
Yeah.
You know,
Sifu,
I don't know what
yeah.
the Taekwondo one's called anyway. It might be sensei. But anyway, so this guy and I got to talking about who was better, you know, because I was fighting in tournaments and he was fighting in tournaments. And it's like, well, let's get together and spar sometime. And he's like, well, I got the keys to the dojo. And I was like, well, let's do it. So we went down here into that strip mall down here, across from Polar King. They had a Taekwondo place in there. We were sparring in there with just the music playing and the doors locked and just him and I, and we were serious about this shit. And it was like, we were making a point. We've had these conversations in the break room for a year now, and it's like, you know, let's get together and see what we can do and everything, right? And so we were going at it, and we kind of beat the shit out of each other.
Did you have any like rules going into it?
No,
like
we just were. It was
have a
just
safe word?
honor-wise of like, we're not going to punch each other as hard as you can in the face, or
Right, yeah,
we're
yeah.
just like, you know, if I land something on you and it's a little hard, you know, fuck you.
Yeah.
You know, deal with it. You should have
You're
blocked
fighting.
it.
I
Right,
mean-
but with rules, and all we were wearing was just like a football mouthpiece and knuckle pads. That's
Yeah.
all we wore when I sparred. It was
Shit.
just like a little sock that had like a little puffy thing on the end to cover your knuckles so that you don't open somebody up with your knuckles. And so we were just, that's all we were wearing, nothing on our feet or anything. And
so you're
we-
basically bare knuckle fighting.
Right, basically.
Yeah.
And then, but there would come a time where he was like, you know, he did like some big sweeping kick at me, and I circled around him, and I was like, oh, I'm just going to circle around him, punch him right in the back here, you know, right? But I circled over by the wall, and then he plants and spin kicks me the other way through the freaking sheetrock of the wall.
Holy shit.
And it's just a big impression of me in the sheetrock, and it was like, fuck. And we just both, that just killed the whole thing.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
okay, now we're doing fucking sheetrock work
Yeah.
to fix the dojo.
Yeah.
These guys were trying to, that night, these guys were trying to change Alexa's name to the N-word to try and make me say it every time I needed to. Like, no, you're not
That's what we
doing
were
that.
trying to do. Because he absolutely won't say that word, so we're trying to get him to say it.
Oh my god. That's awesome.
Then they were going to change it to motherfucker.
And you got to understand, there's a black man here too.
Yeah.
Right.
What does he say about it?
You know, that's
He's
what
trying
he
to
was
get him
trying
to say it, yeah.
He was trying to do it.
change
He's
to
like, I'm
my
gonna
name.
figure this out.
You're gonna say it. He won't say it.
I'm not
That's the whole
playing
deal.
that. I'm not playing that.
He won't.
My joke phrase to him, which I made up, he is mi amigo.
Me and Nigo.
Mi
I
amigo.
like it.
My amigo is my friend. So he's my black friend. He's mi amigo.
That's actually pretty good. I've
like
never
it.
thought
I
of
made
that before.
up, man, and that's what I call it. I text it to him all the time. Hey, mi amigo.
Maybe that could be a cartoon character.
He was saying he was trying to make me say it backwards.
You tell it to him when he shows up.
Yeah.
You could be a cartoon. Yeah. He's a pretty large individual.
We gotta get this guy.
You gotta see the picture
He
sent.
looks like a guy that you would have to ask before you said, "Hey, can I make my Alexa?"
No, he is.
Yeah.
We are as anti-racist as you
Yeah.
can be. No, it's
Oh, yeah.
no.
That's him too.
Yeah.
Holy
See, doesn't he look like he should be at the...
That was New Year's
Yeah,
night, and he
that's
wore
it.
his mink coat over here, and we were wearing his mink coat. It's like it was so warm. You got to put on that mink coat, and she puts it on.
Everyone's just passing around the mink coat.
Yeah, my neighbor Josh was walking by and knocks on the door. It's New Year's.
He's like, "Can I wear the
He
coat?"
knocks on the door, and I open the door, and he comes in. and
Heard
he
you
was
guys
like,
got a mink coat in here.
Let me try
I
it.
said, put that coat on. No, I said, put that coat on, and he put it on, and then he took some selfies, and then we opened the door, and he left.
He's like, "Thanks, guys." I'm gonna post him on my Tinder.
That guy's a trip, man. He's 21 years old and owns that house next door.
What?
Really?
What's he doing?
His dad owns service. His dad's really rich. And then his brother bought the house right over in the corner, and they're just a couple of years apart. And so they've got all these kids that are walking back and forth, and all they do is like fly to places and go to techno rages and raves. Like, I mean, and he's super crazy. You should meet this dude sometime.
I would love to.
He is insane. He came over one day and he goes, "Look at this picture I took, man." And he's at the top of like a 150-foot tall pine tree, and he's topping the thing with his camera in one hand and a chainsaw in the other.
Fuck that.
And he's skinny as shit and climbs all over. They're always up on the roof of the house. They just scurry up. These guys fucking climb over everything.
They just gotta
just
climb.
like a fucking spider monkey, man. And all of his friends are too, and they just climb over shit, man. Trying to introduce his son to these guys because, I mean, I have videos on my phone of your son doing flips off of the roof, you know, and it's like he was into like parkour and shit, you know, and it's like,
Is that the one that killed the
these
fish?
two guys need
That
to
is
meet.
the one that killed the fish.
That's
Nice.
the one that killed my fish, man.
I mean, I completely stopped working out. Like, I don't ever work out anymore. Like, not even
But you're
once.
staying in good shape.
I'm fatter than I've ever been.
Yeah.
Literally, I went to the doctor yesterday.
Hold it well.
And that's what he told you?
Yeah, you're
He was
fatter
like,
than-
"Look, man,
According to your chart, you're fatter than you've ever been.
the last doctor."
I need a second opinion. Is this guy fat?
What happened?
I would love to have a doctor that was just super catty, though. It was just like, "You fucking fat, man." Like,
You need to do something about this.
no, he's actually a very like soft-spoken Asian man.
Yeah.
That was Dr. Bob. We had Dr. Bob for
Dr.
years.
Ho.
Dr. Ho.
You got that
You
right,
got that
man.
right, Bill. You got that right, Bill. Oh man, Bill bought this.
Dr. Jones.
Bill bought this this thing off a line. He come over with a CD one time that he had mailed away and got like Dr. Ho's back belt. And Dr. Ho, he fixed you up, and he did these infomercials, right? Oh, we fix you up good.
No way.
Like, hey, this belt's really wonderful. You got that right. He said this line, and so we started, and he ordered the damn thing, which didn't work. It almost killed him.
You know, my belts will decompress your back whether you're standing, walking, sitting, or lying down.
There's just like those really fast-worded warnings at the end. It's like, this might actually fucking kill you.
Those belts you put on and then you pump it up and it stretches your spine.
Oh.
Yeah, it stretches you out all right.
Only
got
kill
that
four.
Right, Bill. Yes.
Will I maybe die? You got that right.
You got that right. Yeah, Dr. Ho was hilarious. Man, we made fun of Dr. Ho for we watched the CD a couple times, even after.
Just laughing at it. Just like this
It's
fucking
hilarious.
guy.
His infomercial is
We
like,
paid $50 for the motherfucker.
Yeah.
if you Google Dr. Ho, you're probably going to get some shit
Oh,
that is
so
not
much else.
Not good.
So much else.
Yeah, there's going to be some.
Google's gonna be like, "Are you sure about this?"
Yeah, you're going to be put on some mailing lists that you don't want to be on. When I was in high school, our team doctor was Dr. Bob. Right,
Dr.
At the
Bob.
clinic, they had that big Columbia View clinic that's over there off of Mount Hood Community College, up on the top of the hill. There's a Jackson's up there, and then
Oh, okay.
before you turn to go down to Dan's, right? And it's like there's a big clinic that sits out there, and he was the team doctor because his son had played quarterback for Gresham when they won the championship. And Dr. Bob was this big, tall, skinny, like. Old dude, right? And he was like just the most straightest talking dude. Like he just, it's like he saw me years later. I come walking up to me, God damn, you look like an offensive lineman now.
Whoa.
It's like he would just say whatever's on his mind, right? But Tammy went to medical assistant school when we were first married, right out of high school, right? We got married 3 weeks after she graduated.
Damn.
You know, because we were engaged for her whole senior year or whatever, and
Was everybody doing that back then?
no.
No.
I needed a rudder. I had my shit was apart. I've been where you were at, but it's like I was doing it in high school, and it was. But Dr. Bob, Tammy went to 6-month medical assistant school, and then she was like, I'm applying at Columbia View Health Clinic up here where Dr. Bob's at. And she goes, she knew I knew Dr. Bob because he was our team doctor and was on the sidelines all the time with us and everything. So Dr. Bob has her interview and goes, Tammy Gilbertson, you related to Rich Gilbertson? And she's like, yeah, that's my husband. And she was like, oh, all right. And then he just like talks about football the whole time, me playing football, and then at the end just goes, okay, yeah, you're hired.
Oh, nice.
She was so mad about it.
What the fuck?
I know what I'm doing, and I was ready to do an interview, and all we talked about is you playing football.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, that's how it fucking goes.
That's how interviews work.
Oh, I didn't tell you this, man. You know, I was like, Tammy told me, don't bring any beer over there. And I'm like, okay, I'm the victim of whatever this guy's drinking, right? And it was there. I knew we were having vegan burritos or vegan enchiladas.
I'm not going.
And we were staying in their garage, socially distanced from each other. And he actually drug a fire pit out in front of his garage.
Oh, this was recent.
This was last night.
Oh, last night.
This was last night. Well, he was
recent.
Well, it was really. It was like, well, he's sending me pictures of sitting in my hot tub on Friday night, drinking a beer and sitting in my hot tub. And
It's like you're eating a fucking vegan burrito.
I'm eating the vegan burrito with
Enjoy your kale salad.
with my wife's
nuts for dessert.
Just balls.
Yeah.
So I showed up with, it's like, okay, I'm here. And it's like, he's like, you want a beer? And I'm like, yeah, I'd love a beer, man. Thank you. And so he brings out this gigantic microbrew made can where it's like, it had their label on it.
Did he have a bag of cans?
He did. I didn't even check. He must have. But anyway, it's like he brings out this big beer, and it was like 2 glasses of beer in this can, right? And then he brings me out another one later. He's like, hey, try this one. This is a Pilsner, and they were really good. We stayed there till midnight, right? I didn't come home till like after midnight, but after a while, he brings me out one little can of beer, and then it was like I was cut off.
You were done.
Yeah, they I guess they cut me off. So then I had
The vegans cut you off?
I don't know who cut me off. Well, my wife is.
So like,
Yeah,
once you
she
get
said-
to a certain amount of drunk, you're no longer vegan.
Right. Well, I had my pen with me too, and she told me not to smoke in front of them, which I smoked a lot of cigarettes over there. So
Okay.
I was not the poster child.
They're like, you're not like us, are you?
I know. I used to make that joke with Daniel when he was in high school, and he hated it. It was like that he'd bring over like Amy or whatever, and they'd be going out in the hot tub, and she'd come walking through in her bikini and stuff
Through the house?
Right. And they were going out to use the hot tub or whatever, and then I'd go, and later on I'd be kidding with him. I was like, God damn, I really got to hook up that semen skimmer in that hot tub, don't I? And he'd be like, you can't say that shit, damn.
You can't
That's
say
not
that.
funny. That's bad that you say stuff like that. Like,
What?
It's funny.
Daniel,
I know, dude.
what the fuck, man?
That's just funny, Daniel. Come on.
They do have my sense of humor, but not my loss of moral compass while I'm saying it.
Yeah, but that's part of the sense of humor, though. Like, the more lack of moral there is to a joke, the better, I feel like. So funny to me because it's so wrong. That's what's funny about it.
Well, I was
like,
picturing it's like,
But in our
whatever these
context-
guys are going to do, I'm going to take this thing up and forget about it and go up and hook this thing up in my kitchen, and Tammy's going to go, Alexa, and it's like, oh, it doesn't work like that. Hey, your wife's calling my phone, man.
you gotta say something else.
Yeah, and I go, hey, Tammy, I'm going to have to switch this back.
You're not gonna like it. I'm just telling you right now.
Motherfucker, play. they
But
they were
see-
going to change it to that, too. Motherfucker.
They put a lock on it, and we can never change it again unless we buy a new Alexa.
Have to buy a new Alexa.
So you just gotta say
He's
it.
always telling me, just say it backwards. Say it again.
Oh,
He's like, say it backwards. Say it again. And I'm like, and then I'd go, again, please. And it's like, nah, it doesn't have the same feeling.
it doesn't quite do it for me. Didn't you say you played a game in high school on shrooms? I feel like I heard that story before, but I never clarified.
I was on shrooms the night before.
The night before.
Right. That was a trip. That was,
Were you up
there-
all fucking night before the game?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. And it was Barlow. And it was
So it was like the biggest game of the year?
We had lost one game, and Barlow was undefeated, and we're playing Barlow on Friday, and for some reason we didn't have school on Friday. And so Thursday night, this dude goes, hey, I got a bunch of mushrooms. And it's like, well, let's do this shit. We don't have school tomorrow.
Yeah.
I got a game tomorrow night, you know? And then we went down where Clear Creek Middle School is now.
Yep.
It was all fields, right? And we lived right up above that. So we're down there in the forest, fucked up on mushrooms. And
How much did you do?
we had a lot, man. We were just eating them. It was.
Did you eat like an eighth, or just you have no idea?
We were, and there was like a stretch where we had just watched Rambo movie too, man. Then this guy's like, one guy comes riding down this freaking trail. I mean, I have a picture clearly of this in my mind, of this guy riding on a freaking cow, because there was cows down in that field too. And he's riding on this fat cow, and he's riding through there, and the other guy has pulled back a branch, and he lets it go and knocks him off of the cow.
Wait, this actually happened?
This happened. No, we went down.
Isn't this how Butch died?
We went down and went across the street where those apartments are now, and those lakes are out there, right?
Yeah.
Those lakes were caused by, there used to be giant gravel pits out there, mounds of gravel. And it was just, super high. And we climbed to the top of these gravel pits, and then we skied down without any skis.
Dude,
But
we
you
used to do
just
that.
hopping and digging through the gravel down these whole big gravel. And we skied this thing for an hour and a half at least.
While you were
On
super,
mushrooms.
yeah.
Just
Just
And then-
skiing gravel.
What did you think about that when you were doing it? Do you remember?
It was just an adventure, man.
Yeah.
It was just like totally in the moment.
Yeah, it was like, hey, what are we
Dude.
doing? We're doing whatever we want to do for right now until
Yeah.
we're done doing it. And then there would be that flicker in your head of like, oh, and I got a game tomorrow. And
Then you felt like you were going to die or what?
No, it was
'Cause-
I had to, I mean...
Oh shit! My
That could be a
Yeah.
trigger for a real bad shit.
I've watched the video of that game. I have it on CD in there, and I've watched the video of that game. I fucking crushed that game. Barlow was driving to score the winning touchdown on the end that faces like Les Schwab. They're down there. It's all mud too, because there was no AstroTurf back then.
Yeah.
And it's just, we're in a muddy ass game, and Barlow's driving, and Lex Brown was the best running back in the state, running for Barlow.
I mean, I could have told you
And
that
then,
just based off his name.
I know his name because I've studied this fucker to be able to play, because I was an all-state linebacker who was going to tackle this fucker, and we were like, we were like lost one game.
It was like Urlacher against Jerome
That was
Bettis.
the first
or whatever.
game I had lost in since the year before. We lost one game. It was a playoff game at Autzen
Jeez.
Stadium. And
It
we
is not
lost
like
one
that
game.
now.
Anyway, yeah, I know. But they were driving to score the winning touchdown, and I crushed this fucker, and the ball popped out, and I recovered the fumble, and then I came running off of the field with this ball. I watched the tape of it. I come running off the field covered in mud with this ball, and Joel Malone was one of our coaches. He was like the ends coach, and he was like, he had tried out for the Seahawks. He was this ripped dude that was our coach, and I come running out there and just bear hug him covered in mud, and he's just wearing his nice jacket and everything, and I was like, and throw the ball down, and we ended up winning that game.
Wait. So when you ran off the field with the ball, was the play over?
Right, yeah.
Oh, I thought
recovered the
instead of
fumble.
running to the end zone, you were like, fuck it, and just like...
I just go over and hand it to him. He's like, no.
And then hug him.
Run,
He's
go
like, what the fuck?
Like, I got you this ball.
Run, fucking Forrest. I don't know what happened to Lex Brown.
Didn't stay in touch with Lex.
He's like, you ended my obsession with football.
If I did not play football, oh my God, I screwed it
You
up.
suck.
This is
You
the
take
Rodney
two, take
this
two.
is the Rodney
If I
Dangerfield.
did not play football, I would not
Be playing football today.
Dude, I mean,
Turn
yeah.
that into all kinds of stuff.
It's a general statement you can
Yeah.
use for
I
anything.
would not
Yeah, that's...
here today.
Or like, I used to do drugs. I still do, but I used to too.
Yeah, I fucking love that.
Mitch Hedberg.
Mitch Hedberg, man. Did you guys ever watch any of him?
He was one of the best.
Oh,
Rough
you...
kid on the well.
I-
For
Rich, I
one-liner
know
comedy,
you.
he's like one of the
Yeah,
best
just
ever, man.
one-liners.
Oh my god.
I know you would.
He said,
love
I used to lay in my twin bed at night and wonder where my brother was.
Dude, yeah, he's...
Just that type of shit, man.
Yeah, if you like him, you'll like Hedberg or whatever.
Just remember, your sister's sister is still your sister.
There are
rules to it.
Our interactions going on. Your sister's sister is still your sister.
That's a Boardman rule.
That's right. You got to know that. And she,
I think Plato wrote that first.
even though she's driving a tractor, wearing little Daisy Dukes, your sister.
Yeah, but she's hot.
Your sister's sister.
You got to keep her off the tractor. Yeah, it's been crazy, man.
It has been a crazy stretch, man. I go out there every fucking day in the virus and deal with the weirdest fucking people. My route's down in the hood. I'm just dealing with the weirdest fucking people. Not wearing a mask. They're mentally ill. They're whatever, or they come in with the shirt all over their face. It's like, my God. Fuck, this has been going on for 9 months. Put a fucking mask on, man. You're gonna kill me, motherfucker.
I'd way rather just put a fucking mask on than be like, oh, I gotta put my shirt over my face.
Right.
Like,
this last year, man, was fucked up. This was like the virus out there, the fuck forest fires, the house filled.
I know it's just one thing after another. It was like
crazy.
Now the fucking world's on fire. Like,
the skies were fucking ashy orange, and
that was crazy.
can't go outside.
man,
I was like
stuff.
riding my bike to work with like 2 N95 masks on over each other. Like,
We did one night. We got fucked up, and we sat out on the.
yeah.
We sat out there on the deck in the middle. It was like when they were saying it was like the very worst of like, this is the time where you're not supposed to be outside at all. The air quality is
What
there.
did we do? We made a fire.
We built a fire on the deck in my fire pit, and we sat out there, and it's like, we just sat out there all night,
Just
And it's
getting fucked up on
tempting the
smokes. Dr. Bob calls you and he's like, what are you doing,
what
man?
the fuck are you?
So you guys just doubled up on the ash smoke.
Right. Well, if you're gonna have secondhand smoke, forest fire.
Really lean into it.
Yeah, you gotta. You can't half-ass things.
No, I feel the
If
same
you're
way.
gonna do something.
Go 100%.
Right, I'm going to smoke a cigarette. Well, I'm not going to just smoke a cigarette. I'm going to build a fire underneath the overhang, and then I'm going to do it on a day when the air quality level's, at 300.
And then I'm just going to hold my breath until I fall asleep.
You want a bong hit? We wanted to do something, and that smoke was not going to stop.
It's like if you're thirsty, you just like waterboard yourself. Same thing.
Fuck it, yeah.
That was the joke of like, it says miss you on my dick. And then if I get excited, it says Mississippi State University. There's Daniel going, fuck, Dad.
Yeah. You don't say those
Don't
things.
say that shit. Right now, my editing clip is set on one stretch where we were taking... Jay had just moved his boat over to a new slip. It's down on the Columbia, right? It's on like 33rd or whatever. Jay being in a boat slip with this big-ass boat is something completely utterly hilarious because it's all old white people down there that own boats, and then this black dude that's always smoking weed on his boat with these guys that go down and we just fish off of the boat, off the dock and stuff.
There's no one else smoking weed on their boat.
No, they're a whole uptight
People who like see him out there and they're like, there's a black guy out here.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So we went.
He's like, you guys should do with your Alexa.
We were taking his boat out for the first time out of the slip, and he's a rookie boat driver. He's good, but but anyway, we're backing the boat out. The sun's out. It's like a gorgeous day. It was like last month. We're all dressed up and and he's running his phone recording this, and I have one in my hand. And then we're going down this long stretch, and Jay gets sucked over by the current, and he's rubbing up against just like rubbing's racing, and he's going, just keep steering to the right, and you can do. And the whole time, it started like right as he hit the main stretch right there, AC/DC Thunderstruck came on the radio. And it's playing like a soundtrack on this video, and it comes off. We're cruising this boat out, idling it out, and just rubbing up against the thing, and we're making fun of him while he's doing it, and Thunderstruck's playing. And then we get out, and and then he hits the throttle, and we take off out into the river and stuff, and the sun's just like glowing across the water. It was so cool. It was,
Sounds like you were on shrooms again.
I know. It was like, but there's like great shots on my handy cam, and he was shooting it with that, and the Thunderstruck, and it's like, okay, we have a song that's pasted in the middle of something that was cool to edit up. And we have multiple cameras. I think there was another camera that was stationed setting up on another side. And it's like, we have multiple shots of this video with me doing a handy cam of this, and we can edit this thing if we keep the soundtrack of Thunderstruck playing underneath. I mean, this is it could be done.
It's a project. I'm actually, my wife's here to pick me up.
All right, Vince. Vince has got to go.
Gotta bounce out, folks.
He'll see you on the next
Didn't get
one.
to get into any of the fucked up topics, though, but
I'll save them.
I'll listen
I got
to
them.
yeah. See you guys later.
All right, man.
Nice seeing you, man.
Your friends.
Goodbye.
A lot of people don't dive into the more obscure superpowers.
I know. I mean, there's got to be.
It's an untapped
I know.
lane of superpowers.
There's reject X-Men out there that were like, oh, what's your superpower? And it's like, oh, I lick the bottom of people's feet.
And can tell where they stepped.
Right? It's like, oh, that's the worst thing.
Just licking the bottom of their feet is not really a superpower. You actually have to something that goes along with it.
Right. You have to have something that it does.
I can never prove this superpower, but just let me do it. It's fun.
I can project shit out of my ass at bullet speed.
All right, what did we end on with the last thing you were saying? What was it? Was it shrooms playing football?
No. To wrap that story, we beat Barlow, we lost to Centennial, and Barlow had beat Centennial. We were in a three-way tie for first place. We flipped a coin for who got first. We didn't win, and we had to go to, not had to, we should have beat these guys, but we went to Autzen Stadium and played. So I got to play on the turf at Autzen Stadium, and we played fucking Churchill, and Churchill beat us, and then ended up like playing in the state championship. We were fucking so good, and it poured down rain on the AstroTurf. And it was.
What was it like? Because there was no AstroTurf back then.
No, that was a big deal.
So what was it like when you went on there?
I felt electric.
Yeah.
The first time I stepped on it, it was like, I am so much faster. And then my second thought was, and so are the running backs. Shit. I was a running back, but I was like a third down back that was like, they give it to me and go into the shit,
Man, I loved football so much. It's just like, even like back in like Wolfpack, like that was fucking awesome. Those were some great times.
Who are we? Wolfpack. What do we do? Hit. That was our chant, man.
I totally fucking forgot about that until just now.
I taught those kids how to fucking crack people, and we were a machine,
I remember.
Dude. We had no penalties. Nobody jumped off sides. We were a machine. I drew out that whole offense of like the wishbone and stuff.
Yep, I remember
and it's
that.
like, okay, how can I teach this to 5th and 6th graders? And I taught them the wishbone and had them running all these plays, and we just crushed everybody. Went undefeated.
I remember even when I played, even at that age, I was like, I definitely feel like nobody else on the teams we play hits harder than us.
Oh no, man! Remember, like
it just felt different. I was like, oh, this is fine.
If somebody grabbed a hold of somebody and they didn't go down, the running back's still going. What was he called?
Pizza?
Is meat.
Oh, meat?
Meat. And
wasn't there a pizza one too?
Pizza was my word for if you picked a ball off and ran it back for a touchdown. It was pizza. And so everybody, all the other teams, every team I was on said bingo. And if you intercepted a ball, you yelled bingo, and that tells all your defensive players to turn around and start blocking, right? And bingo, I picked the ball off, and everybody turns around. But I was
pizza's more motivating.
Pizza, and if anybody ever does it and runs one back for a touchdown, I'm going to buy a bunch of pizza, and we're going to eat pizza at practice. And then Peter did it to me, and it was like, holy shit, this is a lot of pizza.
I have to buy a lot of fuck ton of pizza. You're like, fuck.
Yeah, and it was pouring down rain, and I took all these muddy-ass kids into the gymnasium at Dexter, and they stood in there and ate pizza.
You should have been like, if you pick a ball off, yell dollar menu.
McDonald's dollar menu.
I didn't put any thought into it.
Dollar menu. When you played that game, though, the day after taking shrooms, like you said, you played really well.
I did.
Did you feel different?
I felt hungover. I felt beat up. I played the night before really, really hard. I mean, I don't even know where I woke up the next day. And then it was just like, oh yeah, it's a game day today. All right.
So you felt like shit when you woke up and then played a great game.
Right.
When did you start feeling like...
It was the 80s, though, so, you know, it was a
I
different
know.
time. I was on roids, too. I was all freaking...
I wanted to talk to you about that, too.
Yeah, I was all roided out and shit.
But, like, so when you went from feeling hungover to playing a fucking awesome game, like, where was the switch?
Oh, just showing up.
As soon as you stepped on.
As soon as I show up in the locker room, it's like, it's time. It's the same way now, though. I live my life like that. I mean, when my alarm goes off,
As soon as you walk in the garage, you say, it's on.
Yeah, it's on. It's on. Yeah, it's like, what are we doing? It's on. And then when my alarm goes off in the morning and I go to work, it's like, all right, it's on. This is my job. This is what I do. I never call in sick. I always answer the bell, you know, and it's like, that is a thing, you know, and it was the same thing. Martial arts, same way. When it's like somebody wants to fight, okay, well, it's on. I mean, I'm this guy.
Yeah, but you can step into a zone.
But if somebody wanted to get, like, pissed off and, like, play, and it's like, oh, you want to fuck with me? And it's like, okay, well, it's on. That's a whole nother thing that
Flip the switch.
Nobody has seen opened up in a long time, right? That I am trained and can fight, and if you wanted to fuck with me. I had one time that it came really fucking close. We were over in Washington, and we were driving to Matt's house for 4th of July. And it was the year that they fucking, like, set everything on fire, and they were, you know, Vancouver. It was the year before Vancouver made all the rules about the fireworks because they burned everything. They were blowing up stuff.
I was hiking in the mountains.
Super dry. Oh, yeah, you were hiking in the mountains. Yeah, but it was super dry, and, you know, and everything was catching fire. And I had Andrew with me, and we pulled into a 7-Eleven, and it was really busy. The 4th of July, you know, and it was some guy who was working at 7-Eleven. It was his first day, and the girl who was working with him got pissed off, and she just went and stood out in the back. And he was in there by himself, and he just kept saying over and over, I'm sorry, this is my first day. Have patience with me, you know. And it's like some guy, it's like, starts this fucking thing about, like, he ordered taquitos, and the guy didn't give him the taquitos. And then the guy just starts in on him. You know, and there's a line of people, he starts in, he's an asshole, and he's just fucking...
And you were like, I think I'm going to fuck this guy up.
And we're just standing in line, trying to get some beer and get out of 7-Eleven, you know, and I'm 3 back, you know, and this guy goes on this kid, and he's riding him and getting on him. He's like, give him my fucking taquitos, man. And it's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm trying to do that. It's like, just hold on 1 second. And it's like, here, I'll give you your money back. Man. And the guy, I don't want my fucking money back. Give me my fucking taquitos. He's yelling at him, and so... And he's already out of line. The guy's trying to help other people, and then he helps me, and we're walking out, and the guy's like, looks at me, and he goes, what the fuck? You got something to say about this, you know? And
why do you look over at you?
I'm looking, and it's like, I got Andrew with me, too, you know? And it's like,
and he's like,
he will
how
fucking
old?
Crush you. I mean, he's like a 35-year-old asshole guy, you know? But that was as close as I came to, like, I can beat the shit out of you, but then... When we get to Matt's house, Tammy's going to be like, oh, you got in a fucking fight at 7-Eleven. And we've been like...
So this wasn't very long ago.
No.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I was thinking of it like years back. Man.
What I say to Jay the other day when you guys were sitting here and I was just looking, and, you know, Jay's a large man and you're a large man. And I was like sitting there and I was like, I wonder what it'd take to kick these guys' ass. And I was like,
yeah,
it'd be a lot of work. It would be a lot of work. And it was like, I was just kind of analyzing you guys.
You might have hit the pin too many times.
It would be a lot of work.
It would be a lot of work. I'm probably going to get bloody in this one.
Not both of them at the same time.
No, just either one of them. One at a time. Yeah, it would be like, okay. And then so when we're out wandering around, and Jay's the largest of the three of us, and when we're out wandering around, it's like, okay, those are 3 large guys that are, that would be a whole lot. If somebody was going to fuck with us, it would be like,
Yeah,
all
it
right.
would take a lot.
Yeah, it would take a lot. You better bring some fucking friends.
The shorter
My
one
nose
of
didn't get like this for no reason.
a guy like you, who's the shorter one of the two, though, would be like the candidate who could actually like maybe win, though. Out of, you know what I mean? Like,
no, I have no doubt I would win. I mean,
there we go. Here we go.
Right now.
No.
We've already been in this situation.
I think every guy, though, whether they're even totally aware of it or not, always does that. They're always like, "Could I fuck this guy up? Maybe." Like,
Nah, that was back in the day. Now, it's
I don't think. I think that goes along with
what I really think about now is it's going to take a long time to heal.
oh yeah.
I'm getting older.
You know what goes along with
Yeah.
that? You know what goes along with that is when you're old when you stop wanting to jump up and touch things.
Yeah.
It's like a fucking measurement
When you were
of
a
like.
kid, you could jump up and you wanted to touch everything.
Yeah, what
Now,
the fuck
do you
is
ever
that?
look
That's
up
a
now?
long ways up.
Do you ever look up?
Why
and
did
go,
I do that?
I should
Like,
touch the ceiling right now. You don't think
I
that?
don't think that anymore.
That's a
We
fucking
do-
measurement. That's like you're old when you. That should be.
Although
on
I
the
can touch
fucking-
the ceiling with my head.
Right, but you don't think about
You don't
it.
have to do a lot. You can just.
Yeah, but you don't think about it now. But you used to. I mean, I used
That's
to like jump up
weird. I
and touch
never thought
everything.
about
That
that.
is a great.
Yeah, that was.
Wow.
I knew I was old when I stopped wanting to jump.
It meant
up
you
and
had
touch-
energy.
Right.
Yeah, because like,
can
why
reach
would
that.
you even do
Have
that?
that
Like,
energy.
I could reach that. And the best thing was when you came across something that was like, can I reach that?
yes.
And then it was like, I think I can. Oh,
Yep.
man, I took forever before I tried to dunk a ball so much. I had flat volleyballs because I couldn't palm them because my hands weren't big enough. And so I was
You
like,
got tiny hands.
I got tiny hands.
So does Daniel.
Tiny white dick and a tiny white hand. You get what you get, God damn it. What would Jesus do? That's what you get, buddy. Anyways, I'd try to dunk, and I could dunk a tennis ball, and I could dunk a flat volleyball.
Into a
and
10?
everything.
Could you palm a
Yeah,
tennis
into
ball?
Yeah.
a 10, yeah.
Hey, could you palm a tennis ball though?
They're really tiny.
Check me out.
You got that right.
You got that right.
You got that
right, Rich.
All right, now I'm thinking of parody videos to make.
No.
Oh my God, Doc.
We should do a video. I don't know what it would be, but something.
I think we should we have we are always talking about doing anything you pick up when the camera's running, you have to do a commercial on it. It's like, oh, hey, Keystone.
Keystone.
Dude, that is my favorite. Like,
you're eating
60%
chips.
of the time, it works every time.
yeah, honestly, like doing funny commercials is really like.
You know, we got into the Real American Genius thing for a long time.
What's that?
commercials.
Oh my God.
You have never watched the Real American Genius?
I may have. I don't know.
American Genius. We salute you, Mr.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Short wearing
Mr.
guy.
Really,
Short wearing
really bad dancer guy.
Okay, I do remember that. I do remember
Mr.
that.
Rolling cooler
Yeah.
roller guy. Yeah, you don't have a friend who will help you carry your,
Just really
there was all
fucking-
those
yeah.
commercials, and the guy singing in the background is the guy from Survivor. You know, the Eye of the Tiger. It's that dude singing.
That dude?
So he's singing in the background, going, it's like, we salute you, Mr. Rolling Cooler guy. And then he goes, Mr. Rolling Cooler guy. He's in the background singing. You don't have no friends.
Dude.
You have to listen to them. They're all on the YouTube. Go and listen to them.
You should
Go
make.
get some ideas.
You should make a fucking parody
Talk
song.
about this.
We have talked about it a lot, about making some new ones and writing some new
Yeah.
ones. We salute you, Mr. My dog shits in the house guy. That would have been the one you made.
Just picking up the dog shit, just like, yeah.
It really does smell.
I was gonna say you should give me something of video, and I can like practice editing with it, and then if it turns out good,
You could edit for us?
maybe.
You can figure out how to edit for us?
Well, right now I'm figuring out how to edit,
Man.
but
What you have to do is be very, very, very careful about some of the things we
particular
say.
about what is left in there.
Very careful.
Well, we do the same thing with this, like so.
man.
Yeah, we haven't crossed into. I haven't felt like, oh, we got.
I'm talking in a microphone right now. There's some things we say on there that should not be said.
Right.
Every episode we've ever had, we've said shit that
Well,
you probably shouldn't
we're
say.
rolling mics talking about our family and our wives and shit.
I don't have to leave that in there. If-
So
you
we
can
got-
give me a list like, don't leave family stuff in. Don't leave the time I
No, we're trying
whatever
to
with
make
the priest.
we're trying to edit stuff up into being like
We actually really have something here.
we do.
With the video
with
stuff?
with the cracker thing, and I would
I mean,
just
you
hate
look
to
at-
see it go to waste.
Yeah.
If you just
I
look
don't
around
want,
this
I don't want
room,
to put it
man.
out before it's ready, but then again, I don't want the stuff that we don't want to be seen to come out.
Yeah, but that's easy. Like
Well, in other words, what I'm saying is, who do we trust?
There's a thing, yeah.
with the content,
I'll
like
beat the shit out of you if you put something up there.
I definitely.
He saw me get serious.
There's been times
he saw
where-
me get serious for a second. He's
There was-
going, yeah, I know he will.
There was times where I've had to text people that have been on the episode where I'm like, "Are you okay with me putting that part out where you said this or whatever?" Like, so
Yeah.
I'll hunt
I
you
get
down
it.
and kill
Like,
you.
This stuff
I believe you.
this is something that can't ever be on.
Yeah, this.
Wait, why do
Exactly
you?
said.
Why do you guys record that stuff though?
Because that's what
it's just
comes out.
It's
Yeah,
just on
you just
there.
turn it on and
I
then
try to.
it's
we-
going.
Seriously,
and-
what we try to do is we try to just do what we do, but sometimes we get in serious conversations that don't necessarily have to be in there.
yeah,
I'm sure, like, if you
we're
just
not trying
went
to
to
make it fake. Let's put it that way.
yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
if you just were like recording
You saw
a
us
fishing
going on an
show.
adventure, dude. A fucking serious.
Do you know how
adventures are
many
fun.
hours of video are shot before that guy actually catches a fish on a fishing show?
Yeah.
You know, and
Like
they
the
edit
whole
all
fucking
that
day.
time. He's just standing out there casting,
Well, unless you're
bitching
fishing
about
with me.
his.
Saying
Seriously,
real
like-
racist stuff
Yeah,
for no
just-
reason.
Yeah, just yeah.
See, but that's not our deal. We're absolutely 100% not racist.
Yeah, he voted for Trump.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
the black dude. Yeah, I mean it's a weird thing. It's like
I worked with a straight from Mexico guy who was like, my daughter votes for Trump, and I just don't understand it.
the Pakistanis.
He's like,
love
what the
him,
fuck?
Man.
Yeah, well.
they have their crazy religious right thing, and it's like,
Yeah.
I kind of like him because it's crazy religious right. It's not our religion, but at least they're crazy and religious.
Yeah,
and right.
what?
You know, it's like, let's be extreme.
But also, he's never read a single page from the Bible, probably. He's like,
Well, not
you
unless he wanted to quote it.
book? Why would I?
Unless he wanted to quote it.
But he couldn't even do that, right? Didn't somebody ask him?
But he was holding it in his hand.
There you go. As long as you got it on you.
He was holding it in his hand when he got the pictures taken.
That's why
Interrupted
backpacks were
everything.
invented.
Freaking, yeah.
But anyways,
I'm not into politics. But
I'm not either.
I hate that.
I'm really
You know
not.
the crazy
But
I hate
thing.
that, man.
The crazy thing.
I know Rich
that
is.
he held it upside down. That was the.
Yeah,
fuck,
dude,
that was fucking hilarious.
I'm
That's
glad
where-
you noticed that because I noticed that myself.
He held the fucking Bible upside down. He made that big thing to do it, and
It
then he
was
goes
all about
over
a
there.
picture.
He doesn't even know which way to hold it down. He's such a idiot. He's a fucking moron.
And did you see the little red fucking like bookmarker that was hanging out of the little ribbon they put in there? Yeah,
At
it
the
was-
bottom?
Yeah, exactly. Wrong way.
Yeah,
I bet the QAnon people took that and was like, he's holding it upside down. He's the
Everyone,
Antichrist.
Hold the Bible's upside down and read it.
It's a new thing.
It tells you things that's not in there if you read it upside down.
It's like playing a record backwards.
It's like,
Dude, we're probably starting a conspiracy right now.
Oh no, I know shit. And then the like
This is probably going live right now, and he's not telling
the Monty
us.
Python thing of see, this is what I keep trying to do with streaming. Because all these guys I play Xbox with say, man, you should stream and just talk while you're playing Xbox because
Yeah.
you have a good voice for this and people, you have interesting things to say. And, and I tell them fucking stories and shit to the guys on my team. while
You
I'm
tell
playing.
stories while you're playing and shit? Like,
Oh yeah, the guys on my Xbox that I played with for years know about me being shot and all the. I mean, they
Damn,
know all
yeah.
kinds. I mean, I just tell them stories and they love it, And they're always like, "You should stream all this shit, man." You know?
You should.
Just people like just watch me and listen to me tell fucking stupid ass stories.
Have you looked into it? Like how to...
I mean, I've streamed a couple times, like nobody watches me, you know?
Yeah, but it's gonna be like that.
I'm not good because I only got one good hand because somebody fucking shot me. So,
but
I'm
that's
very
part
average.
of the...
I'm a good player, but
that's part of the whole thing, though. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be about the gameplay, really. It'd be more like he's playing games, but also he's telling you all this cool shit. So I feel like that'd be cool.
Well, you know, you get what you get.
Try it out.
I know. I should.
Try it out.
Hey, did you pee in the sink this time?
Not this time. That was the last time. I don't know why you hold that one time against me, man.
Use the toilet, man.
God,
Perfectly good toilet right there.
I mean, there is nothing wrong with peeing in the sink. It's a better height. We were probably 16, 17. I took him back to when I was staying with my parents, you know, we were teenagers. And he went into their room, walked past them while they were sleeping, went into their bathroom, and sat with his back against the mirror and puked in their sink in between his legs in their bathroom.
What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? My dad goes, you need to get a handle on your friend. You need to get a handle. I remember it to this day.
He's puking weird right now.
You need to get a handle on your friend.
Man, I had one that pops up in my head all the time of like one of those like hanging out with your friends thing. I went over and stayed the night in Boardman one time with this guy that was like a year older than me. But his sister was my age and was super hot. I mean, and I dated her for a while and everything. But I went over there because her brother had came in and was living with her now, and we weren't dating at the time.
When was this?
This is I was in the 80s, you know.
Oh, okay.
But I go over there and I stayed the night with her brother, and we went like fucking horseback riding or something. They were all like fucking rodeo people, and I went horseback riding with them. And I went horseback riding with the sister one time out through the desert,
and it was different.
She had no shirt on, and I was just playing with her tits, and I was riding behind her because she was a rodeo chick. She's just riding this horse. We're riding giant tits too. Anyway, sorry.
Wouldn't that be super? What is that like if you have big tits and you don't have a bra or a shirt on riding a horse? Isn't that
was
like,
what my hands were for?
Oh, you were helping her out.
I was a horse bra.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah,
that actually happened, and that was cool. And Christy, if you hear this,
that was cool.
That was a great memory of my life. I love that. But anyway, I was staying the night with her brother, and we were hanging out one time, and I stayed the night, and I got up in the middle of the night to go take a piss, and her mom, and it was like one of those old trailers that just are like just the old, you know, single wide trailers, right? It was just out in the country, and I got up and I'm walking down the hall to go to the bathroom, and her mom walks out of the end bedroom buck naked, fucking hotter than shit. Her mom comes out, but just these giant freaking boobs, and she was a little tiny thing too, and you know, like a goat roper horse rider chick, you know. But she comes, and we just stood there and stared at each other for a while because it was like, what do you do? You know, she's looking, and it was just like, I just turned around and she walked in and went to the bathroom. But it was like one of those things, like, I remember that memory with such detail because she was so freaking hot, man.
I mean, but you were there for her daughter, right?
No, I was just staying the night with her brother, the girl's brother. Yeah, yes. I became friends with her brother when he moved in and everything.
You were dating her before you were friends with her brother?
Yeah, we had dated before and everything, but we weren't at the time. She ended up marrying one of my best friends, and then he got all strung out on coke and shit, and she had a kid with him right after they graduated high school and stuff. And then she's came to a couple of my shows, and she's on Facebook. I talk to her every now and then.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, she's cool.
Like, how's your mom doing?
She's came to a couple of my shows. I have like, man.
You know, your mom was fucking hot.
I have said that to her. I said that to her at a gig one. I told her that story because she didn't know that. And I told her that story one time about, like, you know, I was staying at your house that time with your brother Kevin, and your mom came walking out naked, and she was just like, what? We were in a bar out in Oregon City, and she came out to see my band, and we were on a break, and I told her that story. I saw your mom naked, and she's fucking hot.
Like, how long was it? Was it like 10 seconds, or was it like...
It was a long. What the fuck do
super
we do
long.
about this situation?
You both
She's
were like, do we
She's
do
like,
this?
okay, this guy's a freshman in high school, but I was a big kid. I was ripped. I mean, I was like Daniel was. You know where Daniel used to walk around with his shirt off all the time?
Yeah.
And all you just see is muscles?
Yeah.
That was me, except for a larger person. As a freshman, and that's who's staring at. And I look like, back in those days, if you look up pictures of me, I look like the dude from the fucking Blue Lagoon. I had the long, blonde, curly ass hair.
You ate a ton of bananas.
So, don't eat the bananas.
I was a total protein skimmer.
It was a total protein skimmer back then. I don't mean to ramble, man.
No. How
all
old?
night? I mean, I've seen some weird shit, dude. I'm done.
We're gonna have to do another one.
Yeah,
at least another one to get everything else or whatever else you want to.
Oh, we can
go
do
on.
this whenever you want.
You know about the mixer board stuff?
Oh yeah, he was a DJ.
Oh, you fucking were?
For years.
Let's talk about that.
That's not.
Why not? Come on, that's awesome. Like you were
talk about your dad being a slut.
Yeah, he was that.
I'll talk about whatever.
No, my dad was a slut. Yeah,
DJ slut.
He was a slut, and he was a DJ.
That sounds fucking kick ass.
Yeah, until you get older.
I was a DJ and a slut at the same time, and it was pretty great.
In the 90s.
No, I actually could have went somewhere with.
Did you
with
scratch?
The cool boys. No,
here's
I had my own karaoke business.
Justin, let me connect this up.
I would have always loved to have done
Let me connect
that.
this up with you. You know the night that we were throwing my birthday party? What was it, my 30th?
Yep, it was. I remember this.
At your house, with your mom and Tammy, and we decorated the whole place up, and then you and Daniel thought we had the party because we partied that night.
Yeah.
But the party was the next day, and then you guys tore all the decorations down.
Yes, we
right?
did.
Bro, popped all the balloons we had blown up.
Yeah.
The whole thing, all that gear that was set up there, the disco lights and everything.
Wow!
Yeah, he set that whole thing up with the karaoke gear that he used to run bogeys with.
We fucked up your party.
Yeah, Bill set all that gear up. And
I remember we woke up early the next morning, and we were like, you know what we should do? We should take all the decorations down and just like have fun, like crashing all the decorations, but like they'll be glad we did it because we like cleaned up for them or whatever. I don't know exactly what actually happened after that. I don't remember, but
it made sense at the time.
But then we were like, oh, we didn't do a good thing. Yeah. So then what?
Justin, when I had my 84 Z28.
I remember this too.
Oh my god, that thing with the HO, the fucking thing was so nice, black, glossy black, and he threw a rock at a tree and put a big fucking dent in the side of my door, and I was like.
I
was so
pain in your ass,
pissed.
to be
I
honest.
was just like, he was like 4 years old at the time, 5 years old, and it was like
I was just learning how to throw rocks.
It was a big fucking dent too, and I was like, my God! And I went over.
You cannot be mad at a kid for learning how to throw rocks.
I went over and I made your mom pay for that shit with your homeowners and policy, and they had to claim that on their homeowner. I'm like, this is going to cost me $300 to fix this fucking dent, which it did, and then she had to take her insurance. That was our first big neighbor fight. That fucking kid put a dent in the side of my car.
And then what? Like I hung out at your house. All day
time.
the next day. It's just like
the next day. It was just like it is what it is. They're
like, hey, Rich, you're just like, hey,
insurance.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're just kids. They just do stupid.
If your kid's gonna hang out at my house, I need your insurance.
Yeah, exactly. Can I have your policy number beforehand?
Yeah, we went back the other way when there was that big ass ice storm and our tree fell and smashed your shed. So it was like,
what? I don't remember that at all.
A giant ice storm, and we had all those trees, and all my trees collapsed in that ice storm.
I don't fucking remember
when you
that
borrowed
at all.
my chainsaw.
Yeah, and I got pneumonia cutting up all
Holy
those
shit.
fucking things, man. Yeah, I almost died from fucking pneumonia.
That chainsaw was never the same.
No, cutting through ash and shit. I had those ash trees. Those all hardwood. That thing with the maple in the back, and it was all collapsed from that ice.
What about
And
that
then
tree that had the
tree-
swing set on
one
it?
I
of
should
them-
have claimed my home.
That was the
You
big
should've claimed
maple.
my chainsaw
That was
on
the big maple, and
insurance.
it was just folded down like an umbrella.
Holy
It broke all the
shit.
limbs, and the ones that were back in between your guys' house and our garage, there was two back there. Two big pine trees. One of them fell across, smashed your fence, and smashed your shed, and the other one fell, and our basketball hoop was mounted into the cement. It was a pole that was in the cement, and it bent the pole over. It lodged in between like the backboard, and it bent over, and it was touching my house, but it didn't land on the house because the pole caught
Fuck.
it. And it bent the pole over and caught the
Like a
tree.
steel pole? It just
Right, it
bent?
was like a big steel pole that was mounted into
dude.
the cement that was a basketball hoop right at the end of the driveway, and it caught that tree that was going to smash my house.
I'm surprised I don't remember any
That
of
was
this.
crazy, man. That was a
'cause you were
fucking
a kid.
crazy ass.
Yeah, but like I remember other stuff, but I don't remember
It
that.
was all freezing rain, and it came down for just like a full day. It was like so thick. That was the biggest one. We've had some since then.
Yeah,
when
but
I
nothing-
wrecked the
nothing
van
like
that
that.
night.
I mean,
Yeah,
you
but
remember
it's
when
like,
we were growing up? Well, you were Boardman. I mean, I remember growing up here
oh yeah,
when it was serious. It was like that every year.
yeah.
I mean, all the time. I mean, breaking trees down.
When you were a kid?
When I was a kid.
Yeah.
This thick of ice everywhere. I mean, I was born and raised here.
Yeah, I didn't move here till I was. Well, I mean, I was born here, and I was here till the 3rd grade, but I didn't come back.
Snowdrifts up to the gutters, and I mean, it just used to happen every
Here, you mean like Gresham or
Troutdale.
Troutdale?
I grew up in Troutdale.
Yeah, I've seen the snow drifts at Tammy's parents' house that covered their whole first floor, all
Yeah,
the way up to the gutter.
Yeah, and it just doesn't happen anymore.
What was it like?
You asking me if I want a beer? I mean,
Yeah, I'll take another one.
that's kind of retarded.
What was it like?
That's retarded.
That's fucking retarded.
I mean, it's like you
I
should
don't
just
think
bring
they
them.
like being called retarded anymore.
Window
They
liquor?
don't even know that they're retarded.
Would window liquors be better?
Mitten.
Or I just say droolers.
Yeah, exactly. Get your helmet. Get on the short bus.
I'm not participating in this.
This is exactly the sort of stuff I like to say.
You guys are evil.
Fucking retarded.
You ever wonder if you've already died?
I've died inside.
Believe me, I've died several times.
I've died. That's my tattoo. I can't figure out. That's what I need Vince to do.
I
a
just-
fucking tattoo. I need a tattoo.
I want to get one
You do a
too.
show on prison life.
Because I
Yeah, fuck.
I've been there.
I mean, if you're okay with it.
porn.
Not prison porn. I mean, because
You went to
that's
prison.
way too personal.
I got something on that too, man. That's ironic.
It's on his list.
It's on. No,
Prison
we're not
porn.
going there.
Fuck.
But if you seriously want to do a show, I mean, it's about people's lives.
Now we've talked about a non-profit that we've been trying to put together.
That's what we're.
And
What's the deal with that?
well, it's the
About
three
helping
of
people
us.
getting out of prison.
And Jay was in. and
I was
Joel
just
was
fucking
in.
talking about this.
And, we were talking about people getting out, and we were talking about starting this non-profit. Talked with
Teach them basic
we have
work
a lawyer.
skills.
We have
Yeah.
a lawyer in the family now that said she would draw up our non-profit thing and everything for doing it legal, and it would be getting when people are getting out, teaching them some fucking skills of how to
Right.
show up for work and do whatever, you know. And it's
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what they teach you in prison. They teach you how to call in sick. They teach you, how to call in sick properly.
What do you mean?
And what I mean is, when you take a work skills program in prison, they absolutely tell you, if you don't want to show up for work, this is how you call in for sick properly. I mean,
What?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Well, it does if
it
you're,
doesn't
if
make
you're-
any sense
it
at all.
does
It's like because you don't call in sick
it
if you
does
want to
if
keep
the
your job.
people-
Yeah.
Right, but these people that they're dealing with are people that I don't want to show up for work, so they just don't show up.
Exactly,
And it's like,
exactly. So
that's
they're
not
trying to teach them how to
cool.
call in
You
sick
have
properly
to
when they should
call
be teaching
in.
them proper work ethic.
It's one of the things that's about our nonprofit is it's going to be screened for people who actually want to get out of their shit.
Yeah.
You know, and we're taking the people that want to get out of their shit. And you want to know what it's like to be a fuck up, but show up for work every day for 18 years.
And then go fuck up on your own time, but show up for fucking work.
Is how you
know
do
what I
it.
mean?
You know, this
You
is
can
how
still
do
fuck
it.
up, just not at work.
The alarm goes off and you get up. That would be like one of the fucking first things that would be on my
I wouldn't
list.
put it
Yeah.
that way.
Just like
Everybody
that.
fucks up.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't care if you've never been caught. Everybody fucks up.
Nobody has never fucked up.
Tell me you've never driven a car home drunk.
Yeah, totally. I almost died one time.
Yeah.
You just got caught a lot.
I just got caught.
It's funny though because like you never think I've gotten one DUI and
You have had one?
yeah, and I crashed just down your street into a light post and the entire passenger side of the
Now,
car.
was it a light post or was it a telephone pole?
I think it was a light post.
There's a big difference.
Because
He's hit a lot of telephone
Because I own
poles.
a couple telephone poles.
He
I know.
owns
yeah, you paid for it.
Yeah, I know.
I had to pay for the fucking light
I've
post.
joked many times about like these
Yeah.
things are really far apart.
Yeah.
So it was a telephone pole because I know the price difference.
They're really far apart. I mean, the odds that you hit it are
I mean,
really.
a light pole.
Well, I had
not
the
so
entire
much.
road to drive down, and
Right.
somehow I turned into the one
The problem
telephone pole that was
the
there.
problem is they put those fuckers too close together.
They're a long
They need
ways
to be
apart.
spaced out. I've always said
Out
it.
that way, us drunk motherfuckers won't hit them.
Right.
The entire passenger side of the car was like accordion smashed. Like, and I didn't get a fucking scratch, not a bump, not nothing.
It's because you were drunk.
Yeah, I was loose.
That's exactly what it is.
But-
Trust me, I've hit my share.
I mean, but nobody ever thinks they're gonna get one of those. And I like practically everyone I know drives drunk, and they're all good people, you know. But
You
There's more
drink, you
auto
think you're
deaths this
Superman.
year in Oregon than since like 1971.
this
This
year,
year. And you would think everybody's at home, but no, the people who are out there are like just fucking fucked up. Or
Yeah.
they're just a bit. We blew away the record since 1970.
that's so fucking ridiculous.
This year, I totally would have thought the opposite. That like nobody was driving.
Yeah, like auto deaths went down by like
'Cause nobody's going to
50%.
work.
Yeah,
You're
because
not-
everybody's supposed to be staying home.
But it went
Staying home.
higher.
But there's like all these high-speed racing going
Fuck,
on
man.
and shit. Because I mean, these guys fly down the freeway when I'm driving to work in the morning or when I'm driving my truck.
That's
like-
because they're throwing away all traffic violations right now.
That's true too.
Isn't it hard to get arrested right now?
I know this
one.
for a fact for some unknown
He went to
reason.
court this week.
No, I did not.
Okay.
But anyway, if you get a traffic violation in the state of Oregon right now, and the cop is not going to show up
Yeah.
because of COVID, so they just throw it out right at the window right now. So
Sick.
you can get away with whatever you want as long as it's a violation.
I'm gonna do some crazy shit
No
tonight
crime.
after this.
Go do
No
some
crimes.
cookies.
You can commit violations.
Only 50% of murders are being looked into right now.
I'm just telling you the truth.
The purge is coming. The purge is coming.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was some sort of purge.
The next guy that pops
There
up
already
that's
has been.
smarter. The next
But
guy
like
that, you know what this
There already
virus
has
is?
been.
This is a fucking purge. It's killing all the old
I
people.
mean, we're not talking about going out
They're
and
gonna
murdering
save
people,
some-
but
this
breaking
is
into
going-
people's houses and shit like that.
Yeah.
It's
This is
going to save Social Security.
That's part of it.
Social Security is going to be saved because all the old people died.
Well,
By the time this is over and it kills that many old people and Social Security doesn't have to pay them anymore, they saved. I mean, this.
The reality
but
is,
they're not gonna know where all that money went somehow.
the reality of this whole thing is
Oh, man, I
the
was.
whole defund the police and the COVID virus. Everybody that is a criminal is getting in touch with their criminality, and
They're
doing
honing
what
their
they want.
skills.
It's the truth. It's the truth.
And the jail thing of like, yeah, can't keep them in there because they're going to get the virus in jail. So don't put people in. You know, so there. This is a clusterfuck
You
of
have a
ideas. that are-
strange as hell.
Somebody
Criminals
needs to
have
sort this
free
all
reign
out.
to do what they want right now.
Somebody needs to
That's
sort
nuts.
it all out and make sense of it because it's a whole bunch of people making panic policy in the middle of a shitstorm. And
Yeah, it's all
They're
panic.
just letting people out that are doing crazy shit, and then
Yeah, didn't they let like a fuck ton of people out because of the virus?
Right.
That's nuts.
Yeah, the dude who shot
Because the
me
viruses
got
went
out.
rabid in the freaking prison systems and the jail systems.
That was
you-
another thing, another fucking
There's
thing.
a lot of people there that weren't sentenced to death. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, and if you're in a system where death is just happening because you're also confined together,
Yeah.
why would they keep you in there?
If your cellmate has COVID,
Why would they?
If your cellmate has COVID,
Well, I mean,
you're
if you're
going to
serving
get
a
it.
year for doing something that is not a violent offense,
They can't let you die in prison.
They can't let you die. in
Yeah.
prison. They can't.
But it's just
But
ironic
they can
though.
also tell
Like,
you have to come back at a later date.
would there be anything worse? Like leaving prison and then they're like, "All right, you gotta come back. Like whatever you were doing, fuck it, because
I
you're
don't
coming
know.
back."
I mean,
Like,
to get a year out.
I mean, you would take it.
You would
obviously,
take it. You would
but
definitely take it.
that would be fucked up though to have to go back like that.
But maybe if you prove yourself to be a decent human being in that time, they wouldn't.
Yeah, that's true.
They wouldn't make you go back. If you became.
Would they do something like that? You think?
I guarantee you they would. Yeah, just
That's
to keep
good.
their space going.
I gotta say,
You don't want to get in this topic with me.
I mean, everything you guys got to say is pretty interesting. So
Bill's a weird motherfucker, though.
Yeah, I've done my share of weird shit.
well, whatever you're okay with saying, I'm down to talk about whatever. So
You need to plug in this fucking heater.
That's what I do.
I just blew his mic out. We can't be talking in a podcast when the captain comes over.
Right.
Because he is coming over.
Sorry, the mics are still picking you up.
I know, I'm trying to talk right. I'm talking real quiet.
Oh, is he coming over?
Yeah, he will be.
All right. Well, it's the same shit, though. It's just
I know,
you're just
but
laying down.
it's what I would consider moonlighting.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
We're trying to create our own fucking thing.
Right.
And then there's another thing.
I know.
He'd be very, very upset about that.
We can't lay any video down anymore because we don't have any more cards.
I have about 6 hours left on mine. It may be. It is what it is. They didn't sound like it. But anyway, reality is reality. Can't change the past. Can only change your future.
So, I'm gonna wrap this. I mean, we can still hang out. I mean, we can still hang out. Still hang out. I mean, we can still hang out.